Welcome to this Corvic AI demo. In this walkthrough, I'll show how an agentic AI system performs continuous sense and alert monitoring across two signal types that are critical in cold chain logistics: IoT sensor telemetry from the cargo unit and live external news feeds covering ports, carriers, and geopolitical events. This is a real scenario. On March 15, 2026, a shipment of 4,800 vials of insulin analog was in transit from Singapore to Jakarta via Kuala Lumpur. The cargo required strict temperature maintenance between 2 and 8 degrees Celsius throughout the journey. Today, monitoring a shipment like this is largely manual. An operations team would check dashboards periodically, monitor emails from ground handlers, and catch issues, if they're lucky, before they become losses. With Corvic, we can run a continuous autonomous monitoring workflow that correlates sensor data and news signals in real time, escalates when compound risks emerge, and uses web data in real time to find alternative routes. Let's dive into the demo. We already have a Corvic room, which we have connected to the IoT streaming service. This service has been connected as a tool here, which is available for the Corvic agent to grab data in near real time. The technical aspects of pulling data from this streaming service has already been captured in a IoT streamer skill. This skill does all the boilerplate work of calling the backend IoT service, pulling the data, and passing it on to agent for further analysis. Let's start by asking Corvic to run the IoT streamer and analyze the units that are part of the shipment that are in the data stream. All right, it looks like we have the data stream now pulled from IoT. Now Corvic is going to parse all this, create a structured table out of it, and also run the data analysis. We have 45 rows available. We are now doing the analysis. Let's see what the agent has discovered. We have a shipment on the flight from Singapore to Kuala Lumpur. It is on the way to Jakarta. There are pallets which are reporting temperature readings. There are 12 pallets. And here are the readings. There are 43 readings for pallet P04, and looks like the average temperature in this case is getting highlighted. It is much more than thresholds. There is an 81% excursion from the threshold. What does that mean exactly? It means that this is a concern area. The temperature has crossed 8 degrees centigrade for these insulin vials, and that could mean that we might have to then discard the product. We need to act quickly to save it from getting fully destroyed. We can see a chart which shows how the temperature went up beyond the threshold. There was some correction, but not enough, and we are now having an excursion. Great! We also have the advisory to escalate this immediately. At this point, we might want to begin to search for routing alternatives. Now, we will ask Corvic to get us some alternatives. We are also going to ask how the situation is in those areas. So, let us start by asking the nearest port to KL. The system is going to do a web search. This is a separate tool that we have enabled this agent with to figure out what are the ports available. Great, there is Port Klang, which is only 50 kilometers away from the Kuala Lumpur airport. This seems to be a very strong port, and we might get good alternatives here. Let's also ask the web search about the situation at Port Klang. Can the cargo be handled speedily? We do have sensitive equipment. Again, the web search will be invoked, and it will tell us the situation. The web search told us that, unfortunately, although Port Klang is highly operational, there is elevated and worsening pressure. In this situation, the agent also tells us that we can look for certain options. In particular, the agent tells us that we can consider North Port as an alternative. It is less congested than the West Port. These are important insights. It also tells us about the intermediate steps in the logistics chain. For example, the route transfer is quite manageable. This helps us to plan North Port. I'd like to create a report that captures the analysis for review. Great, the incident has been reported. This is a detailed HTML report that can be downloaded. We have the date, the shipment involved. We also have the summary of the pallet, the conditions, and the excursion. We also have some charts that can help understand what's going on. With this, we are able to report the situation, and we are also able to report North Port as the subsequent port from where we can further process the shipment. While we explored the IoT streaming service and the web search as data sources, we are free to include any other more specialized and perhaps more accurate data sources to conduct our analysis. We can also run the whole process at short intervals and continuously monitor the streams. Now let us step back and look at what the agent actually did. It correlated separate port signals as well as the data from the shipment in real time with ease. It positioned the options for human escalation and created a detailed report as to why we are choosing the North Port option. Without this kind of sense and alert process, the temperature breach could not have been caught in time and would have resulted in losses. This completes the demo. To automate alert systems and post-alert analysis, go to Corvic AI.